Hey guys, my name is Mindy. Welcome back to the historic Boyertown State Theatre, and tonight we will be talking about Disclosure Day. So I am going to go ahead and apologize in advance because I did leave my microphones at home, so tonight we're just going to have to deal with the phone microphone. So Disclosure Day was released yesterday, June 12th. It is distributed by Universal Studios, directed by the great Steven Spielberg, starring Emily Blunt, Josh O'Connor, Colin Firth, Eve Hewson, and Coleman Domingo, with a score by one of the best soundtrack composers, John Williams. This film marks Steven Spielberg's 37th feature film and his 5th director-screenwriter pairing with David Cope, including Jurassic Park, The Lost World, Jurassic Park, War of the Worlds, and Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull. It's hard not to go into a Spielberg movie with some excitement simply because he is one of the best directors of all time. He has directed some of my favorite movies such as Jaws and Jurassic Park. He is essentially the inventor of the summer blockbuster and has been an influence on a plethora of modern day filmmakers. There is not enough I could say to properly sum up his contribution to cinema, and as a cinephile on paper, this should be one of the best movies of the year. Unfortunately, that is not my opinion of it. Being that the title of the movie is Disclosure Day, you would think that would be the main plot point the movie is centered around, someone trying to disclose the existence of aliens to the entire world, except the act of actually disclosing this information exists in the film almost as a subplot. The runtime of the movie is almost 2.5 hours, and I would say about the first 30 minutes of it is setting everything up along with some character building, which typically I wouldn't consider as a negative, but the problem here is that there was time wasted getting you invested in characters and relationships that just fizzled out and had no bearing on the rest of the movie. There were constantly new plot lines, new characters, or new ideas being introduced, and a good majority of them could have been completely removed without changing anything about the film. There were times when I was wondering, wait, why is this happening? Because the emphasis was not placed enough on the right points and placed too much on the wrong ones. I'm usually not a big complainer about plot holes because you can't possibly address all the outcomes of a situation within the time limit of a movie, but the plot holes in this movie were glaringly obvious and plentiful. Overall, it just felt very choppy and disjointed. I also think it felt quite dated in a way. There are a group of agents, I'm just going to call them, chasing our protagonist throughout the film, and they're made out to be collectively moronic. During the action scenes, they're almost falling over each other and accidentally creating their own blockades against themselves to the point that it's just silly. Although the action scenes are directed well, this impression of the antagonist removes a great deal of tension because eventually you're just waiting to see how they're going to mess it up. The CGI also seemed old and out of place in such a modern movie. I will say that Emily Blunt was fantastic as always. Her performance shined through everything else, and I was always looking forward to the next time she was going to be on the screen. The soundtrack was a typical John Williams soundtrack, very reminiscent of Indiana Jones, Jaws, and Star Wars. I'm very on the fence about this movie. I liked that it felt like a combination of almost every alien movie from Arrival to Independence Day and everything in between. I just wish it felt more put together and modern. I may be the odd one out with this because of the 6 people that I took with me. I was the only one who couldn't say that they really liked it. Overall, I'm giving this movie a 3 out of 5 stars. I will recommend that you watch it because it is entertaining, and I did find the final act to be very emotional. In other movie news, as of this morning, Obsession is approaching $250 million at the box office and was back up to #1 again on Thursday. The numbers after Friday evening were Disclosure Day being #1, bringing in 19 million, Obsession at #2, bringing in 6.2 million, Scary Movie #3, bringing in 4.8 million, Backrooms at #4 with 3.6 million, and Masters of the Universe rounding out the top 5 with 2.4 million. That's all for me tonight. As always, get out to your local theater. See Disclosure Day, see Obsession, Backrooms, see Scary Movie, which is what we're currently showing here at Boyertown State Theatre. See any movie, take your friends and family, and let's continue to support filmmaking together. Thank you guys. Love you. Bye.